You already know all about the polarization that exists in today's society. You've talked with people who are radically against what you believe, and they are willing to die on many hills. How did we get here exactly? Well, you probably already have the answer for that, but the real question that doesn't have a clear answer is, how do we get to normal? What is normal anyway? At the bare minimum, how can we talk with the blue-haired liberal or that staunch Christian nationalist coworker at my job? The differences are hard to overcome, I'm aware, though we all know that something about our conversations has to change. So what if we were to look not even to the opposition's good qualities, but to our shared humanity? What do I mean? From what literary perspective would you say that you see your life through? More specifically, you don't see the back of your head as you move along life, right? No, you see yourself in the first person point of view. Normally, the first person point of view is reserved for which main character in a story? The antagonist? No. The first person POV is reserved for the protagonist of the story. It follows that if you see through the first person point of view, you would see yourself as the protagonist of your own story. Naturally, the protagonist of any worthwhile story is the good guy. Ultimately, you see yourself as the good guy because the protagonist is necessarily good, and you're the protagonist because you see through the first person point of view. At this point, it follows that if you're the good guy, that you would have a bad guy to oppose. The prerequisite of a bad guy is not truly fundamental, as many would have you believe. The bad guy is only as necessary as we desire that character to be in order to satisfy our own cognitive dissonance. Without having earned good guy status through battle, many have been led to believe, through some sort of trauma, most prevalently religious trauma, that they are naturally bad, or at least not good. For them to have a perspective that they are good is fraudulent until proven true through striving towards righteousness. On the contrary, it is possible that one hold a view of God that says, He only creates good and healthy things, therefore I must be good and healthy when I live as He created me, and move on believing in this base state that they were created in. Regardless, you are never the bad guy. Even the most popular bad guys didn't see themselves as anything less than the good guy. In the famous interrogation scene in The Dark Knight, Joker responds to Batman saying, I don't want to kill you. What would I do without you? Go back to ripping off mob dealers? No. You complete me. In this scene, we can see that Joker has painted himself as the good guy and is satisfied with having finally found an equivalent bad guy. You see, the Joker believes that the morality the society is built on is simply a facade. In his eyes, he is just as immoral as everyone else, with his moral high horse being that he's at least honest about it. Likewise, Adolf Hitler believed that the only way to bring about his perception of a perfect social order was to go about genocidally murdering those who did not fit his ideological model. As his own good guy narrative would have had it, he cast himself as bringing order to the human race. The bad guy he constructed in his delusions was predominantly the Jewish people. As his flag and mission symbol, he used the swastika, the icon used for millennia to represent peace. On his soldiers' belts, he had inscribed God with us. Your shared humanity with these two universally recognized bad guys is in seeing yourself as the good guy striving towards righteousness. Today, the bad guy for the political left is constructed as being the authoritarianism they believe the political right wants to inflict for the sake of strict adherence to conservative values. Meanwhile, the bad guy for the political right is seen as the suicidal empathy and fraudulent networks they believe the political left has maliciously set up for the sake of destroying morality. But now what? Well, the next time that you meet that individual that is utterly despicable, in your opinion, consider that in some way they are the good guy of their own story. You can apply this 2 hours from now with the girl at the grocery store, or even 2 minutes from now when you're scrolling through social media to something else that shames someone for something they allegedly did. The normal aspect of life that I believe we all want to get to is where anyone can have a conversation, see their position, agree or disagree, and just move on. The truest form of justice that a good guy can pursue is not the destruction of the opposition, who also sees themselves as the good guy, but the restoration of the opposition's perspective. This requires first entering the other person's belief system, then guiding them toward the realization that it may be unhealthy, or in the process, discovering that your own belief systems were misguided.